Raw.
I just saw something. Somebody just passed by.
Extreme.
No!
These are our ghost adventures. Tucked away in the back hills of the northern part of the state sits this abandoned psychiatric hospital. This facility once housed thousands of patients tormented by mental illness, many of whom died while here. To protect their privacy, we cannot disclose the exact name or location.
This is by far the biggest location that we have ever investigated. This abandoned old insane asylum sits on over 90 acres of land. 90 acres of land, and all these buildings that you see are connected by an underground tunnel system that we're gonna get locked down inside later on. And before we get locked down inside, we're gonna go try and find some people that have some stories to tell, some paranormal encounters, and also of the dark history of the criminally insane and the mentally unstable people that lived here and died here.
Just from the moment you walk into the place, it just feels like it's wrong in there. You just see stuff lying around like everybody picked up in the middle of the night and left everything behind.
We know that there's ghosts here. Some are angry, some are looking for help.
Yeah, this place could easily be haunted just because of its history and just how freaky it is by itself.
Local historian Bob Williams gave us the backstory on this creepy facility.
The insane asylum in this county begins back in 1872 when the county fathers decided that it would be advantageous to have mental health care within the county as opposed to sending patients off to the state institution at Greystone. In 1895, it was decided that they needed to have more space. Okay. So they built a group of buildings here known as the Hill Buildings, which are what these buildings here are.
This was like its own community. Back in the turn of centuries, they grew their own food. We had our own bakery, we had our own, not only greenhouse, they took care of all the grounds. You had thousands of patients, you had every kind of mental illness that you can think of. I don't know if anybody was ever tagged criminally insane, but there were patients who were hardcore criminals.
At the turn of the century, psychology was in its infancy. Mental illness was a source of fear and shame. Families locked away loved ones in institutions like this, hidden from society and left to live with the nightmare inside their own minds.
You know, they were tortured through their life. If you've seen someone who is not stabilized on medication, who is truly psychotic, it's hard to see the pain in their faces.
Those who were treated were often subject to barbaric therapies.
I think at the high water mark of shock treatment, they did 500 here in 1 year. A lot of what they did at this institution was hydrotherapy, where they would water somebody down in lukewarm water when they were, going kind of berserk. The other thing that they did here was diathermy, and that is where they attach electrodes to the head.
Others wasted away in the loneliness of these prison-like conditions.
In the old days, you had a lot of people who spent the last years of their lives here.
In the winter of 1917, the heat broke. For weeks, thousands suffered in the sub-zero conditions, and many died. But these deaths were only a small portion of the body count.
There's a lot of deaths.
Well over 10,000.
Hold on a second. Wow. You just said that there's been well over 10,000 deaths on this?
10,000.
People who work for the county for the other departments, they were stationed there, and they saw a nurse in full turn-of-the-century garb with a long skirt, walking up and down, making rounds.
People who have been inside agree on the kind of disturbing experience that awaits us.
Have you had any experiences with the paranormal here?
I've had a few little incidents as part of my job. Every time we go into these certain buildings, there's something that happens. It's either the cold feeling, your hairs go up on your arms.
Really?
Sometimes I don't want to go, but I have to go because I'm the secretary, so I don't have a choice.
We were walking around in one of the buildings, and as soon as we walked up on the floor, I just got that eerie feeling like something just did not want us there.
Yeah.
Then we come down to this one room about 80%, 90% down the hallway, doors closed. As soon as we opened the door, it's got a huge wave of like somebody running through us, and was quite upset that we opened his door.
We got into a building that was an old dormitory kind of wing. In that building, I felt like I was being watched, like somebody had their eyes on me, which is especially creepy. At one point, I started actually yelling, "We have to get out of here, we have to get out of here." And
why were you yelling that?
because something really didn't want us there.
Really?
It was to the point where I thought it might actually be dangerous.
With over 10,000 deaths attached to this location, there was no way of knowing who or what we'd encounter. Strange things were happening everywhere, and it was more than just stories. People were capturing hard evidence.
This is a big one for us. There it is. Yes. The Hillcrest Sanatorium. We're the ghost trackers.
I know who you guys are. This is like a part of the show?
Yeah.
How many people are supposed to die here?
About 1,000 people died here.
What?
1,000 people died here in 5 years. I see it.
Right there, right in the window, then it goes away.
So our cameras are all set up. We've got this whole place covered.
Let's do this, guys. 1, 2, 3.
Lights out!
If you're here, just give us a sign. We just want to know if you're still here. You want to do something? Do something to me. What is this? Look at the wall. This place is evil. Dude. What? What is that? What is that? Guys, get that to the children's ward now.
Miss Carmichael, please. Dr. Peterson is ready for you.
Awfully sorry I have to go. Had a perfect hand. Would have beaten the pants off you.
Harry will take you, Miss Carmichael.
Oh, thank you.
Watch her carefully. Don't take your eyes off her.
How are you today, Harry?
Fine.
You look a little bilious.
It's the light.
I worry about you, dear.
I'll be all right.
Must we dash into Dr. Peterson's office? Can't we go sit somewhere in private and talk? Just you and I.
Love it, if I had time.
Would you?
Come in.
You ruined a very interesting card game, Dr. Peterson.
You may go now, Harry.
I'll be outside.
I hope you feel better today, Mary.
Well, I don't.
You will.
I think this whole thing is ridiculous.
What whole thing, Mary?
Psychoanalysis. It blows the pants off me. Lying on a couch like some dreary nitwit telling all. You don't really expect to get anywhere listening to me babble about my idiotic childhood. Really.
My patients invariably regard me as a wretched nuisance during our first talks.
I see. It's my subconscious putting up a fight. It doesn't want me cured.
Exactly. It wants to continue enjoying your disease. Our job is to make you understand why. When you know why you're doing something that's bad for you and when you first started doing it, well, then you can begin curing yourself.
You mean I've been telling you lies?
The usual proportion.
You're right. Been lying like mad. I hate men. I loathe them. When one of them so much as touches me, I want to sink my teeth into his hand and bite it off. In fact, I did that once. Would you care to hear about it?
Tell me anything you remember.
We were dancing. He kept asking me to marry him, panting in my ear. I suddenly pretended I was going to kiss him. Sank my teeth into his mustache. Bit it clear off. You're laughing at me. That smug, frozen face of yours doesn't take me in. You just want me to tell you all this so you can feel superior to me. You and your drooling science. I detest you. I never want to see that nasty face of yours again. I can't bear you. You and your nickels worth of nothing.
Come on, Miss Carmichael.
Silly fool. Letting a creature like that worry me. And this frozen puss. Oh, Dr. Fleurot, I want to talk to you alone. I can't stand that woman.
I'll see you later, Mary. Come, Miss Carmichael.
I hurry home before dark, before the sun goes to rest. I must fly to my nest like the lark. Home before dark, I must get home before dark. It's almost ready to storm, and love waits with a warm remark. Home before dark, it's good to be home before dark. So good to be held in the arms of the one I
My name is Arnold Braun. I've come for my wife. She's going home today.
Yes. If you'll wait in the reception room, Mr. Brown, Dr. Collins will be in to see you.
Sorry to have kept you waiting, Mr. Braun. Mr. Braun, it's been a year since you've seen the outside world. You can't estimate what that means. Remember not to think of her as a patient, but rather as a normal human being who's come through a long illness. She has to learn how to deal with people and situations all over again. Little by little, she can begin to resume all her normal responsibilities at her own speed.
Charlotte told me she'd like to see a psychiatrist when she feels better. Did you advise that?
We talked about it. As you know, we're not equipped here to extend our therapy into any real analytical work. Private psychiatrist might help her. See how she feels about it when she's stronger. Now, there's one thing. Please sit down, Mr. Braun. The last time we talked, her stepmother and stepsister were living with you. Are they still there? Yes. That might not be such a good idea. I'm thinking of the resentment your wife showed toward her stepsister during her violent period.
That was months ago and she was sick. Now that she's better.
The problem between your wife and her stepsister goes very deep, back to a strong childhood resentment. As I remember, her stepsister was taking care of her at the time she was committed.
Oh, but she was already sick before that.
Mr. Braun, many patients released from the hospital as cured return to us within the year. All too often, the reason is that they're returned to the same situation which precipitated the breakdown in the first place.
Actually, before Charlotte was sick, she and John got along very well. Now that she's better, I don't think it'll be a strain for her. Besides, I've been relying completely on John and her mother to take care of Charlotte.
Let's put it this way. If you see it puts her under stress, then it would be best to make other arrangements. You understand? Good luck.
Dr. Collins.
Yes?
I've been staying in the downstairs den. Do you think it would be better for her if I continued? She had our room to herself for a while.
I don't think so, unless she feels she needs to be alone. I don't think she will. You work that out between you.
Well, Charlotte. There now.
I'm sorry. I didn't know I would cry. There's papers to sign at the desk, Mr. Braun.
Come on. We want to get out of here, don't we?
If you will sign this right here, please, Mr. Braun.
Thank you.
Goodbye. And good luck, Mrs. Braun. Thank you. Don't forget your suitcase, darling. Goodbye, Mrs. Franklin, and thank you. Goodbye. Don't be a stranger. Come back and see us sometime. I won't be coming back, Mrs. Franklin. I'll write you a letter. Goodbye.
Goodbye. No, wait there. I'll back up the car.
I'll come too.
That's foolish. You'll catch cold. You'll get your feet wet.
But I want to be with you. Please, Arnold.
All right, come on. We've made good time. We'll be home before dark.
My mother used to say that. We'll be home before dark. It always made me feel so safe.
All right, all I need is one vote, right? Right?
All right.
Okay. Want to watch the World Series? Come on in, pal. This could be a big moment for you. Now, you want to watch a baseball game? You want to watch baseball? Just raise that hand up. Just raise the hand up. What do you say? Sorry. Bancini, old horse. What do you say? You want to watch the ball game on TV? Huh? Want to watch the ball game? Baseball? World Series? What do you say, pal? You tired? Just raise your hand up, Bancini. Watch the ball game, huh? Okay, all right. What about you, pal? All we need is one vote. Just one vote. Just your one vote. That's all we need. Just raise your hand up and your buddies can watch the baseball game. Jimbo, you remember, don't you? October, the banner, the stars. Oh, say, can you? The World Series. Raise your hand up, Jim. By the dawn's early. Just raise your hand up polite. So, what about you, pal, huh? Want to watch the ball game? Want to watch the ball game, huh? Just one vote. Just raise your...
Gentlemen, the meeting is adjourned.
For Christ's sake, isn't there one of you fucking maniacs that knows what I'm talking about?
Mr. McMurphy.
Huh?
The meeting is adjourned.
All right, just wait a minute, will you? Just 1 minute?
You can bring the subject up again tomorrow.
All right, Chief. You're our last chance. What do you say, huh? Just raise your hand up. That's all we need from you today, Chief. Just raise your hand up one time. Show her that you can do it. Just show her that you can still do it. Just raise your hand up. All the guys have got them up. Just raise your hand up, Chief, will you? Huh? Come on, there's got to be one guy in here that's not a total fucking guy. Mac? Chief! The Chief! Ah! Chief! There's Ratchet! There's Ratchet! Look! Look! The Chief put his hand up! The Chief put his hand up. Look, he voted. Would you please turn the television set on?
Into the tub.
The Chief has got his hand up right there. The Chief voted. Now, will you please turn the television set on?
Mr. McMurphy, the meeting was adjourned and the vote was closed.
But the vote was 10-8. The Chief, he's got his hand up. Look.
No, Mr. McMurphy. When the meeting was adjourned, the vote was 9-9.
Ah, come on. You're not going to say that now. You're not going to say that now. You're going to pull that henhouse shit now. When the vote the Chief just voted, it was 10-9. Now, I want that television set turned on right now.
You don't need your chair. What you need is a mop. You gotta get this done. Finish your work. Desiree. Come on. Come on. Come on. No, you have a work assignment. Mr. Hardy.
Yeah. Koufax kicks. He delivers. It's up the middle. It's a base hit. Richardson is rounding first. He's going for second. The ball's in the deep right center. Davison over in the corner. Cut the ball off. Here comes the throw. Richardson rounding first. He goes into second. He's slides. He's in there. He's saved. It's a double. He's in there. Martini. Look at Richardson. He's on second base. Koufax is in big fucking trouble. Big trouble, baby. All right. Here's Tresh as the next batter. Tresh looks in. Koufax gets the signs from Roseboro. He kicks once. He pumps. He fires. It's a strike. Koufax's curveball is snapping off like a fucking firecracker. All right, here he comes for the next pitch. Tresh swings. It's a line fly ball to deep left center. It's going. It's gone. Somebody give me a fucking wiener before I die. Koufax looks down. He's looking at the great Mickey Mantle now. Here comes the pitch. Mantle swings. It's a fucking home run.
Gentlemen, stop this. Stop this immediately.
What I believe, what I know, is these people are alive inside.